You don't feel like you could do better. You don't feel like anyone else is going to accept you. You need to help yourself. Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. Quality Queen check-in. How is everyone feeling today? I'm feeling refreshed, rejuvenated. I was a little under the weather the other day, but nonetheless, today I had a very productive day. I got up, I worked out. Is it just me, or like when things are super structured, I feel really, really good. So whenever I have a super structured day, I just think to myself, why don't I do this way more often? Anyways, today, as you can see from the title, we are going to be talking about dating while damaged. The article that this is inspired by is by GL Lambert's article on dating while damaged. And again, another really, really good topic that I feel like is very timely and also definitely needs to be discussed. As you know, this is definitely going to be a long video, so sit tight. Before we jump into the video, if you are new here, hello, hi, my name is Asha. Very nice to meet you. Join the A-team, subscribe. Hopefully by the end of this video you subscribe, or if you have good faith that you will like me already, then pre-subscribe. And also do not forget to thumbs up this video, turn on your post notifications so that you're notified every single time that I post, and let's jump right on into it. So in life, we all have circumstances, traumas, and inner child traumas and situations to heal from. No one is exempt from that. However, like GL said in his article, many people would rather complain than actually change their circumstances. There are certain choices that we don't make, like our parents and where we were born. However, as an adult, you get to choose. You get to choose who you date, how long you stay, who you choose to keep dating, as well as your job or your career. So a lot of the times we ignore our own personality flaws that keep us in the same vicious cycle of repetitive circumstances. The damage that we face begins to surface when we try to connect, or trust someone new in service of self-preservation, right? You are way more guarded. And in life, we all process hurt and trauma very differently. And negative situations happen so that we can learn and grow from them. But how is it, like GL said, that we find ourselves recycling exes, falling for obvious liars, and letting people continue to manipulate us? What is that about? I think that that statement can be very offensive for someone that is not really ready to grow. So if you're watching this and that statement offends you, you need to help yourself. And the first thing that comes in your mind is, but you don't understand my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my circumstances. We've all endured circumstances. We are all enduring different circumstances. And I realized, because I love psychology, we all equally view our issues as more superior, more severe than another person's. When the irony of it all is that it's really all about perception. So do you actually believe that you deserve better? Or do you put up with nonsense and remain in certain situations because do you not feel lovable? Because as GL states, in order to love someone, you have to learn them. And you feel like your past is filled with so many mistakes and flaws that you don't want to start over with someone new because, well, that person that you're with accepts all your flaws, knows everything about you. And you don't really want to take that chance of someone else not accepting those things about you. And because that mindset, it's going to make you feel unworthy. Of course, you're not going to want to go start over with someone new. I mean, half the time, we don't want to start over with new people regardless because our emotions are just tied to someone else. So we don't want to necessarily start over. But the root of it actually does lie in unworthiness. One of the roots, I should say. So you cannot expect to build another person if you can't build yourself. So now let's get real, because you know how I keep it on this channel. I always say that life will teach you the same lesson over and over again until you learn from it. So I think oftentimes we as women think, oh my God, why do guys lie about such stupid things? The better question is, like GL said, why do we continue to talk to guys that constantly lie in the first place? Now here's an interesting piece that I'm going to read verbatim that he said in his article. A girl would rather question why a man acts the way he acts than question why she's attracted to a man that consistently acts in that manner. And he gave this example. If I own a cat that scratches at me every time I go to pet it, I'm getting rid of that cat, not psychoanalyzing why it's being an a-hole. Damaged women are attracted to flawed men as if being emotionally unavailable is macaroon. The core of this attraction from the people that I've studied is that a woman feels that if she works hard to understand why a guy treats her like crap, he will repay that with compassion by doing the same investigation into her issues. Wow. Can we clap for literally what he just said? That made so much sense to me, especially that last part. A lot of the times we endure situations because we literally think that, oh my God, if I try to understand him and I'm there for him, he's gonna know that I care about him and reciprocate that same thing. When do they ever really? When do they ever? There's always a commonality and a pattern between all the people that we date in our lives. And sometimes we subconsciously keep repeating these same patterns because we want to try and prove that it is the other individual and that it's not us. We don't want to accept that potentially we might be the problem. But what we don't realize is that chasing the ex, chasing the guy that rejected us, or conquering a guy like your boyfriend that was literally horrible to you, or even an absentee father, you have to stay away from those negative traits that those people have. We are subconsciously always dating the same types of people because when things don't work out, we're trying to subconsciously fix that dynamic over and over and over again. Crazy, but this is actual psychology. So because it feels familiar to us, that's why you keep on trying to redo the relationship. And when I was reading that, I was thinking to myself, it has to be familiarity because we want to fix all the negative things that happen in our lives. And some, of course, are way easier to fix than others. And fixing other people is always going to be easier sometimes, or feel easier than actually fixing ourselves. So is it chemistry or is it familiarity? So GL also wrote in the article that some girls just assume that guys are always out to play them. That's where you start getting paranoid, obviously. And a lot of the time, some girls get so offended if a guy is more sexual with them in the beginning, when at the end of the day, like, that's what's always gonna happen first. Like, you can't get one without the other. A guy's not going to talk to anyone that he's not automatically attracted to anyway. And I think the same honestly kind of goes for us too. I mean, that's just really the laws of human nature. Now, what do we want in general in life? A lot of us, whether we realize it or not, we all want to be understood. We want to feel cared for by our partners, but it feels like we attract people that literally don't care about what it is that we want. And we do wish that we had a guy that, you know, would be understanding and maybe fix our problems and our issues and love us so that we can love ourselves. And then what happens is you waste all your time and all your energy on a guy and he runs off, you know, to the next girl, or he just keeps you waiting around until he decides if he wants more with you or not. And then you build this guy up for the next girl because now he has all the equipment he needs to be a good boyfriend because you built this person up in hopes of what? That he would do the same for you. And now you're crying and you're upset over how he is the perfect boyfriend to someone else. And then what do? You actually go repeat that pattern again. Why? Because, well, you knew that it wasn't you. You did the right thing by trying to help someone and trying to be there for them and helping them with this and helping them with that. And you were just giving all your energy in that situation. It wasn't being reciprocated back to you. So you're hoping that when you do it for the next person, that they're actually going to be able to appreciate you. But with that type of mindset, we don't realize that we end up attracting the same person. And honestly, this part of the article, I'm also going to read verbatim because this is what honestly really just gave it to me straight. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We attract the same types of guys and we don't even realize it. And I'm definitely guilty of it myself. Whether I see someone, I instantly like them because they remind me of the person before them. And it's like, whoa, isn't that what I'm trying to avoid? But we get so caught up, whether that be, oh my God, he's so funny, he makes me laugh so much, or oh my gosh, this guy literally looks just like my ex-boyfriend. And it's like, why do we do these things? Like, why? Like, I know we can relate to this. I'm absolutely guilty of this. A lot of the times, like GL said, we like guys for reasons that honestly don't even tie together. And this is what he says. You go to a bar and flirt with a guy that has the same sense of humor, a guy that literally screwed you over and never called you again, and you automatically feel a spark for a reason that doesn't tie together. You're not conscious of your own toxic attractions. And he goes on to say you're sleepwalking through life because you refuse to admit that you have a problem choosing men. It's really not that easy to admit to yourself that your picker is off. And then if someone asks you why you're single, you say, because boys suck. No, the boys you try to turn into men suck because you equally suck. Wow. And you guys thought I was harsh. You break up, blame the guy for acting the way guys like him act, and then rush back onto the market to repeat this step. Pump your brakes, stop dating for a minute. Stop taking phone numbers, stop responding to DMs, understand what you're chasing after because it is not male love. You are driven by the lack of self-love tied to something that hurt you in your childhood or adolescence, and that needs to be healed before you start dating again. A lot of the times people say, okay, the quickest way to get over someone, okay, jump back into dating someone else. And it's like, yeah, that's going to temporarily fill the void, but what you don't realize is you never took the actual space to heal. So you're just covering it up with someone else, and those issues are going to spill out eventually. Now think about it on the reverse side. Imagine a guy literally just getting out of a relationship and then dating you while he thinks he's making an effort to get over his ex. How would you feel if you knew that that's what he was doing? It doesn't make sense. This is why I believe that a lot of the times, or some of the reasons why a lot of people end up getting played, especially when they come out of long-term relationships and they think that they're ready to just jump on into something else. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you're not actually fixing yourself and you're acting out of hurt. More than likely, you're acting out of hurt, you're acting out of heartbreak. Now, what foundation is that going to set for a brand new relationship? Does it happen sometimes? Do people sail off into the sunset, jumping from one person to the next? Probably. Do you hear it a lot of times? Absolutely not. But I'm sure it happens. Everything is circumstantial. But at the end of the day, when are you going to actually have that solitude to yourself to actually work on yourself? You can't keep jumping from one thing to the next. You gotta stop this serial monogamy. You have to. And then if that situation doesn't work out the way that you want it to, now you're hurt over two situations in a short time span and you never really healed from the first one. So now it starts to feel like this always happens. This is why I'm done. I'm just gonna guard myself from now on. I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Where's the responsibility? Where is the accountability for your own actions? Where is it? And I absolutely agree with GL when he says that we have to stop being lazy when it comes to the process of healing ourselves, and you need to have better discernment of people, their personalities, their energy, their characteristics. A lot of the times when things feel very familiar to us, sometimes those familiar traits are toxic traits that we should not be around. Oh, he's super sarcastic. I love sarcastic guys. But your last boyfriend was super sarcastic. And you know what they say? A lot of the times, the same things we end up loving about people, when things don't work out the way that we intended to, we end up hating those things about people. I love that he's so, giving. He'll take his shirt off his back and give it to his best friend. He'll get up in the middle of the night if his friends need him and make sure they're okay. And then when you're with him, when he does that same thing, babe, where are you going? It's literally 2 a.m. Oh, my friend, he just called me because he, was just really devastated. Him and his girlfriend just got into a fight, so he needs me to just pick him up and we need to have an emotional day and talk about it. It's 2 a.m. Now, it feels to him like you're hating him over the same reason why you liked him in the first place. His selflessness. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Healing, reflection, and dating is all connected. I mean, I personally believe that everything in life is really connected, but it is. And GL touched on a great point about pushing people away. Remember, we're talking about dating while damaged. These are the things that we endure dating while damaged. If you've even made it up until this point, think about the things that I was just talking about, right? How we repeat our patterns subconsciously. We like people for the same reasons that are familiar to us from the person that things didn't work out with. We're trying to subconsciously redo those dynamics so that we can try and make them successful. In effort of doing all these things, we're building up guys to be the perfect boyfriend for the next girl and not for us. And we're not taking the time to actually be with ourselves, reflect with ourselves. We think that moving on to the next person is going to do it. It's not going to heal you. And I just think inevitably when we deal with so much hurt and trauma due to the lack of not realizing that we are attracting the same type of toxic men, and then a lot of the times, like I said, self-sabotaging ourselves by trying to redo the dynamic, we just want to do the easiest thing, which is give up. I'm done with guys. I do see comments here and there on my channel where people are like, I'm just gonna stay single then. This is just too much work. I really just start to think, out of all billions of people in this universe, you're gonna give up because the 5 or 10 or less that you chose, it didn't work out with them. So you must be doomed for failure, because there absolutely can't be anyone else on this earth that can be with you, can understand you. I just feel like it's, you know, kind of a cop-out so that you don't really take the time to understand. I feel like that's a little bit of a victim mentality of, all right, forget it, I'm just not gonna do it because it's not working for me. And it's like, well, ask yourself, why does this keep on happening? Like, sit with yourself. People don't like sitting with themselves. And this is why dating while damaged becomes dangerous, in my personal opinion, because you have the tendency to completely just go off into a tangent and hurt yourself even more because you're not dating with a purpose. You're dating being fueled by a negative emotion, a negative situation, and you're trying to get over someone else, getting under someone else, and you think that that's really going to fix it, and it's not. And a lot of times people say, oh, everyone's the same, guys are all the same, I'm so done with them. I think personally, what that translates to me is that you don't believe that you can change. So that's why you don't believe that other people change. I actually am someone that believes that people can change on many different levels. Even on a physical level, if someone was overweight and lost weight, what did that person do? They changed physically because they lost weight. So yes, technically people do change. That person had to change their mindset in order to achieve those goals too, right? So yes, people do change, because when you are adopting a healthier lifestyle, healthier habits in general in your life, you have to change. Of course, there are some people that don't change, but people that don't change recycle around the same circumstances. But I am an avid believer in people changing. It's very easy to blame others and become very protected and guarded and just go into our shell and just remain miserable, honestly. The things that you're dealing with in your life, the trauma that you have endured and that you have experienced, it's going to come out. And personally, this is just on a very transparent note. I believe that everyone should see a therapist. I think it's a very healthy thing to speak to a professional, someone that is on the outside, that is giving you professional advice on your situations, because we've all endured some sort of situation that we deem as traumatic that we don't want festering into our relationships. We want to break generational curses. We want to really, really be as healthy emotionally as we can. And it is no one's job to fix that but you. That's no different from the guy you're dating saying, well, I just have commitment issues because I've been cheated on in my past, and my parents got divorced when I was 2, and all these things. And you feel like, well, you don't want to give this a chance because you're afraid of the things that you have endured from before. Like, I'm not going to do that to you. What does it have to do with me? It feels like you're being punished for someone not dealing with their fears and their issues, right? So you don't want to go do that to somebody else. Although I do believe that there's a time for solitude and reflection, I also am very aware of the fact that it's not that realistic for everyone to avoid dating completely. However, I do think that if you do consider yourself to be a serial monogamist, you should at least take at least a month. That's 30 days to just be alone, not have this person to fall back on and talk to and drag into your life, and then next thing you know, you're annoyed because this person is doing exactly what they were doing before, and you just thought the outcome would be a little bit different because you decided to circle back. So you're hoping that something changed, and it didn't. And I don't want to say this to discourage you. I want you guys to have the understanding that in life there are going to be certain situations, circumstances beyond our control, and some that we do contribute to that will occur in our lives. It is our job, our responsibility to take accountability for our part in every situation. And it's not an easy thing to do. And I think that it's so easy to be super defensive. This is very inevitable. Anytime people are offended by something that is true, Some people are able to identify that something is true and be offended by it. And then some people, the worst case, have a huge cognitive dissonance from the truth. And so they feel like you're literally lying to them about how they are behaving or the reality of what is actually going on. I think it takes a lot of courage and bravery to accept what is and to start making the progressive steps in moving forward. So all in all, would I necessarily recommend dating while damaged? And I'm going to say no, because you are going to make certain decisions and you will be acting out of not the best place in your life. And yes, you will learn a lot in those situations, hopefully, but it is best to just take stock and have, solitude and reflect within yourself and then head back into it so that you can start realizing patterns and behaviors from certain people that you do not want to repeat, and you won't get as deeply involved as you used to in situations that result in the same outcome. Whatever the circumstance is, you just want to make sure that every person that you're dating, it is better than the last. And the only way to make that happen is that you make sure that you're entering into this with a clear mindset and with the intention of making sure you don't repeat your past mistakes. You're not going to be thinking about that if you are hopping from one situation to the next, because the first thing and the only thing that's pretty much on your mind is, I just want to get over this person. I just want to get over this person. You're not really leading with a healthy mindset of, I'm really ready to start something new. I'm completely emotionally available, so I can attract people that are emotionally available. I know the time it took me to even get to this mindset, so I want to make sure that I'm attracting healthier individuals by being in this mindset. So angels, I hope that this video helped you and resonated with you as it definitely did for me. Let me know what other videos you guys would like to see in the comment section below, and do not forget that I love you and God loves you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.